If your dog has been scratching so much lately that you're starting to lose sleep over it, stay right here, because in the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you a simple 1 teaspoon kitchen remedy that thousands of dog owners swear by for calming itchy, irritated skin. But here's the part most videos won't tell you. I'm also going to show you exactly what this remedy cannot do, according to actual veterinarians, so you don't waste weeks hoping a kitchen trick will fix something that needs real medical attention. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's normal, what's a red flag, and what you can safely try at home tonight. Before we go any further, if you're a dog owner, do me a quick favor. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. It genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like this one, and it means you won't miss the next video where we go even deeper into natural dog care. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get into it. Picture this. It's late at night, and you're lying in bed, and you hear it again. That scratch, scratch, scratch sound coming from the corner of the room. Your dog, let's call him Max, is chewing at his paw for the 5th time tonight. You get up, you turn on the light, and you look at him, and he looks back at you with this almost apologetic expression like he's saying, "I don't know why I'm doing this either." This is a scene that plays out in millions of homes across the country every single night. Dog owners lying awake, worried, Googling things like "why does my dog keep scratching?" or home remedies for itchy dog skin, hoping to find something, anything, that will bring their dog some relief. And that's exactly how so many people stumble onto this 1 teaspoon kitchen remedy. It's simple, it's cheap, it's sitting in your kitchen cabinet right now, and it has genuinely helped a lot of dogs feel more comfortable. But before I tell you what it is, I want to slow down for a second and talk about something really important, because I think this is where a lot of pet owners go wrong, and I don't want that to happen to you. Itching in dogs is not one single problem. It's a symptom. Just like a fever in a human can come from a cold, the flu, an infection, or something more serious, itching in a dog can come from a whole range of different causes. Some are mild and manageable at home, others need a vet's attention, and pretending otherwise would honestly be doing you a disservice. So let's walk through this properly, the way a good vet would if you sat down with them for 20 minutes and asked them everything you wanted to know. The most common cause of itching in dogs is allergies. Just like people can be allergic to pollen, dust, or certain foods, dogs can too. Environmental allergies, sometimes called atopic dermatitis, are incredibly common, especially in certain breeds like golden retrievers, labradors, bulldogs, and West Highland white terriers. These dogs might scratch more during certain seasons, especially spring and fall when pollen counts are high. If you've noticed your dog's itching gets worse at certain times of year, that's actually a pretty strong clue that allergies could be playing a role. Food allergies are another big one, and they're often misunderstood. A lot of people assume if their dog has been eating the same food for years without a problem, food can't be the cause. But actually, dogs can develop a sensitivity to an ingredient they've been eating for a long time. It's not always something new in the diet. Common culprits include chicken, beef, dairy, wheat, and soy. If your dog is itching along with other symptoms like ear infections, diarrhea, or skin infections, food sensitivity might be worth exploring with your vet, possibly through what's called an elimination diet, where you slowly narrow down what's causing the reaction. Then there's fleas. Even one single flea bite can cause an intense allergic reaction in some dogs, a condition called flea allergy dermatitis. Your dog might not have a huge flea infestation. Sometimes just one bite is enough to trigger days of itching, especially around the base of the tail and the lower back. If you part your dog's fur and look closely, you might see small dark specks that look like pepper. That's often flea dirt, which is basically flea droppings, and it's a strong sign fleas have been present. Dry skin is another really common and often overlooked cause, especially in the colder months when the air is drier, or in homes that run the heater a lot in winter. Just like human skin can get flaky and irritated in dry conditions, a dog's skin can too. This type of itching tends to be more generalized, and you might notice some flaking or dandruff along with it. There are also skin infections, both bacterial and fungal, like yeast infections, which can cause intense itching, redness, and sometimes a noticeable odor. These often show up in warm, moist areas like between the toes, in the ear folds, or in skin folds, on dogs with wrinkly skin. And then there are external parasites beyond fleas, like mites, which cause a condition called mange. Mange can cause severe itching, hair loss, and skin damage, and it typically needs veterinary treatment to resolve. I'm walking you through all of this not to worry you, but because I think it's important context before we talk about the remedy. Because here's the honest truth. No single home remedy, including the one I'm about to share with you, is going to fix an underlying flea infestation, cure a food allergy, treat a bacterial infection, or get rid of mange. If your dog's itching is being caused by one of those things, the kitchen remedy might offer some temporary comfort, but it's not going to solve the root problem. And that's actually the whole point of this video. I want you to walk away not just with a home remedy, but with the knowledge to know when that remedy is enough and when it's time to call your vet. Okay? So now let's actually get into the remedy itself, because I know that's what a lot of you came here for. The 1 teaspoon trick that so many dog owners talk about is using diluted apple cider vinegar, or in some versions, plain oatmeal, mixed into a paste or a bath soak. Let's talk about apple cider vinegar first, since that's the most commonly discussed version of this remedy. Apple cider vinegar has mild antibacterial and antifungal properties, and many pet owners use it as a rinse after bathing or diluted heavily with water in a spray bottle to help soothe mildly irritated skin and add a bit of shine to the coat. The idea is that the vinegar's slightly acidic nature can help rebalance the skin's natural pH, which may help reduce the environment that yeast and certain bacteria thrive in. Now here's where I want to be really careful and really honest with you, because this is exactly the kind of detail that separates a responsible pet owner from someone who might accidentally hurt their dog with good intentions. Apple cider vinegar should always be heavily diluted with water before it ever touches your dog's skin. Undiluted vinegar is acidic enough that it can actually burn or irritate the skin further, especially if the skin is already broken, raw, or has open sores from excessive scratching. It should never be used on cracked, bleeding, or open skin, because it will sting, and it can actually make the irritation worse instead of better. It should also never be given orally to dogs in any significant amount, and it should absolutely never be used near a dog's eyes, nose, or any sensitive areas. If your dog has been scratching so much that the skin looks raw, red, or broken, this is not the remedy for that moment. That dog needs to see a vet, not a kitchen ingredient. The other common version of this remedy is a plain, unflavored oatmeal soak. This one tends to be gentler and is often recommended by veterinarians themselves as a safe way to soothe mild skin irritation. Oatmeal contains compounds called avenanthramides, which have natural anti-inflammatory and soothing properties. This is actually why so many human skin products for eczema and sensitive skin use oatmeal too. For dogs, plain, unflavored, uncooked oatmeal can be ground into a fine powder and mixed with warm water to create a soak or a paste that can be gently applied to itchy areas or added to a bath. It's generally considered one of the gentler, safer home remedies for mild, generalized itchiness, and many vets are comfortable recommending it as a supportive, comfort-focused option, not as a cure for anything specific. So when people talk about the 1 teaspoon trick, they're often referring to either a teaspoon of diluted apple cider vinegar mixed into water as a rinse, or a teaspoon of ground oatmeal added to a paste or bath. And look, I'm not going to sit here and tell you this is some miracle cure, because it's not, and any video that tells you it's going to stop itching and ticks forever with one kitchen ingredient is honestly not being straight with you. What I will tell you is that for mild, occasional itchiness, especially the kind caused by dry skin or very mild environmental irritation, these remedies can genuinely offer some comfort. They're gentle, they're low risk when used correctly and in moderation, and they've been used by dog owners for a long time as a supportive measure, alongside good overall care. But now let's talk about what this remedy absolutely cannot do, because I think this is the most valuable part of this whole video. And it's the part that most other channels skip over because it's less exciting to talk about. First, it cannot treat or prevent ticks. This is a big one, because a lot of content out there makes bold claims about kitchen remedies stopping ticks. Ticks are a serious concern, not just because they're gross, but because they can transmit real diseases like Lyme disease, ehrlichiosis, and anaplasmosis, some of which can cause long-term health problems for your dog if not caught early. There is no reliable evidence that vinegar, oatmeal, or any kitchen ingredient repels or kills ticks effectively. If you live in or are traveling through an area with ticks, the safest and most effective approach is using a vet-recommended tick prevention product, whether that's a topical treatment, an oral medication, or a properly fitted tick collar. Your vet can help you choose the right one based on your dog's size, health history, and where you live. Please don't rely on a kitchen remedy as your tick protection. That's genuinely a safety issue, not just a comfort issue. Second, this remedy cannot cure allergies. If your dog has environmental or food allergies, diluted vinegar or an oatmeal soak might soothe the skin temporarily, but the underlying allergic response is still happening beneath the surface. Managing allergies properly usually involves identifying and avoiding the trigger where possible, and in many cases, your vet might recommend antihistamines, specific prescription shampoos, a special diet, or in more persistent cases, other treatments designed specifically for allergic skin conditions in dogs. Third, it cannot clear up a bacterial or yeast infection. If your dog's skin has an odor, is red and inflamed, has crusty or scabby patches, or if you notice greasy, flaky skin along with the itching, these can be signs of an infection that typically needs a proper diagnosis and often a prescribed medication, whether that's a topical treatment, a medicated shampoo, or in some cases, oral medication. Home remedies won't clear a true infection on their own, and delaying treatment can sometimes let things get worse. Fourth, it cannot treat mange or other parasitic mite conditions. Mange causes significant hair loss, thickened skin, and intense itching, and it requires targeted veterinary treatment. This is not something a kitchen remedy will resolve. And fifth, and this is important, it cannot replace a proper diagnosis. Itching is a symptom, not a diagnosis. What looks like simple dry skin to us might actually be the early stage of something else. This is why, if your dog's itching is severe, sudden, worsening, or comes with other symptoms like hair loss, open sores, a bad smell, swelling, or changes in behavior like lethargy or loss of appetite, the right move is to see your vet rather than trying to manage it entirely at home. Vets aren't just there for emergencies. A lot of skin issues in dogs are so much easier to treat early before they turn into something more painful or harder to manage. Now let's go back to Max for a second, because I want to show you how this actually plays out in real life. Remember, Max is the dog who kept his owner up at night with all that scratching. His owner did some research, found the oatmeal soak remedy, and started giving him gentle oatmeal baths a couple of times a week, and it helped, a little. He seemed a bit more comfortable after each bath, less restless at night, but the itching kept coming back within a day or two, and it wasn't really improving overall. So instead of just continuing to guess, his owner took him to the vet. Turns out, Max had a mild environmental allergy, likely triggered by pollen since it was springtime, and a mild secondary skin irritation from all the scratching. The vet recommended a specific approach for the allergy, and also said the oatmeal baths were actually a great supportive habit to continue, since they helped keep his skin calm and comfortable in between. Within a couple of weeks, Max was back to his normal self, sleeping through the night, not constantly scratching, and his owner felt so much better knowing exactly what was going on instead of just hoping a home remedy would eventually work. That's really the story I want you to take away from this video. Home remedies and proper veterinary care aren't competing with each other. They work best together. The kitchen remedy can be part of your toolkit for comfort and mild support, but it shouldn't be the only tool you rely on, especially if things aren't improving. Now let's talk about a few more supportive things you can do at home alongside this remedy, because comfort for an itchy dog isn't just about one single trick. Regular grooming and brushing can help remove loose fur, dirt, and allergens sitting on the coat, especially after your dog has been outside. Wiping down your dog's paws after walks can help reduce the amount of pollen and outdoor allergens they track back into the house and lick or absorb through their paw pads. Keeping bath frequency reasonable is important too, because bathing too often can actually strip natural oils from the skin and make dryness worse. So most vets recommend not overbathing unless it's specifically recommended for a skin condition. Using a gentle, dog-specific shampoo rather than human shampoo matters as well, because human skin and dog skin have a different pH, and human products can actually be too harsh for a dog's skin barrier. Diet also plays a bigger role in skin health than a lot of people realize. Dogs on a well-balanced diet with adequate omega-3 fatty acids, which you'll often find in fish oil supplements, tend to have healthier skin and coats overall. Some vets recommend omega-3 supplementation specifically to help support skin barrier health, especially in dogs prone to dry or sensitive skin. Of course, before adding any new supplement, it's always worth checking with your vet, especially if your dog has any existing health conditions or is on medication. Keeping your home environment in mind matters too. Regular vacuuming can help reduce dust and allergens in the house. Washing your dog's bedding regularly can can help reduce buildup of dander, dust mites, and outdoor allergens that get tracked in. And during high pollen seasons, some owners find it helpful to limit outdoor time during peak pollen hours, which tend to be in the morning. I also want to touch on something that doesn't get talked about enough, which is stress and boredom-related itching. Some dogs will lick or scratch excessively not because of a physical skin issue, but because of anxiety, stress, or boredom, similar to how some people bite their nails or pick at their skin when they're anxious. If your dog's vet has ruled out the physical causes we talked about, and the itching still continues, it might be worth having a conversation about your dog's overall mental stimulation, exercise levels, and any recent changes in routine or environment that could be contributing to stress. So, to bring this all together, here's what I want you to remember from this video. If your dog has occasional mild itchiness, a diluted apple cider vinegar rinse, used carefully and never on broken skin, or a gentle oatmeal soak can genuinely offer some comfort and support. These are low-cost, low-risk options that a lot of dog owners have found helpful as part of a broader care routine. But if your dog's itching is severe, sudden, persistent, or comes along with other symptoms like hair loss, redness, odor, sores, or changes in behavior, please don't wait it out hoping a home remedy will fix it. See your vet. Skin issues are so much easier and often less expensive to treat early, and your dog will feel better so much sooner. And when it comes to ticks specifically, please rely on a proper vet-recommended prevention product rather than any kitchen remedy, because the health risks from tick-borne diseases are simply too serious to take a chance on. I know this video took a slightly different approach than a lot of the flashy, too-good-to-be-true titles you might see out there promising miracle cures. But I'd rather give you the real, honest picture, because at the end of the day, we both want the same thing: a happy, comfortable dog who isn't scratching all night long. If this video helped you understand your dog's itching a little better, I'd genuinely love to hear from you in the comments. Tell me, what has your experience been with your dog's itchy skin? Have you tried any home remedies that worked well for you? Or maybe you have a story like Max's, where you thought it was one thing and it turned out to be something else. Drop a comment below. I read every single one, and it really helps other dog owners who are going through the same thing when they see real experiences from real pet parents like you. And if you found this video helpful, please take a second to share it with another dog owner, whether that's a friend, a family member, or someone in a local pet group online. You never know, this might be exactly the video that helps someone else finally figure out what's been going on with their dog too. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. If you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video, where we're going to dive into more real, honest, vet-informed dog care tips that actually make a difference. Take care of yourselves, give your dog a gentle scratch behind the ears for me, and I'll see you in the next one.